So when we come today, we're with OMAFRA, we're with MEDT, we're working with Ministry of Culture. We're trying to work across government to bring this conversation of innovation to folks such as yourself. And we're also there to coordinate. So we consolidated a number of innovation programs that were in different ministries and brought them under one house so it would make it a more understandable process to navigate. So to do all this, we needed a sort of a primer or a foundational document which we could release to sort of get this message across. So in 2008, we released Ontario's Innovation Agenda. And one of its key maxims is to support excellence. And support excellence in areas that have relevance to Ontario's priorities. So that's basically what we're talking about, is supporting the kind of world-class research we do so well in our universities and research institutions. What we also had to do is to recognize we have to target our investments where Ontario can be a global leader. And in doing so, we conducted a lot of studies and research. We had a Premier's Advisory Council, and we looked at areas where Ontario had some core capacity and where the global market was such that we could take some global leadership. And we just identified 4 areas where the province could focus and get a really good bang for its buck, if you will. So advanced health technologies was one of them. The bioeconomy and clean technology is another. Pharmaceutical research and manufacturing. And especially, I think, relevant for today's conversation about creative economy, we decided to focus on digital media and ICT. Other aspects of the innovation agenda, which again are sort of resonate with the Creative Age report, is leveraging skills and knowledge advantage in research, entrepreneurship, and commerce. And so looking at ways that we can support those skill sets along with a business climate. So how do we do this? So how does MRI support all these lofty goals? So this graphic, which I'm afraid the formatting is a little off, so I'll sort of walk you through it. So on one end we have research, and on the other end we have markets. In the middle we have development. Now this may look like a bit of a conveyor belt sort of graphic, but innovation is a continuum. It's not linear, but for the purposes of talking about it, it's pretty easy. It's easier to understand it this way. So when we have colleges on the left-hand side, the discovery, knowledge transfer, the research. So this is going to be my sort of like Steve Jobs sort of Apple speech, because we're going to say, like, we have an app for that, we've got a program for that. So in the research side, if you're looking to do some globally best research, we've got a program for that. We've got the Ontario Research Fund, both an infrastructure and a excellence program which does operating expenses, and the other does infrastructure. We also have research talent programs, and we have other programs that reward scientists and researchers for the work they've done and to continue on in collaboration. Then the next stage as we're moving towards markets is the technology and product development. So for this, we have other programs, but we're just going to focus on one, which is our industry academic collaboration program with the Ontario Centres of Excellence, which helps bring the researchers out to market and helps trying to develop some of that research that exists within our institutions. And once we go there, we move on down the line, we move to business acceleration, and this is an area where we've been quite aggressive. We have an innovation demonstration fund to help pilot new innovations coming out of the private sector and out of the universities. We have a business acceleration program out of Mars in Toronto, working with nodes around Ontario. We have a GreenFit program looking to roll out green technologies and biotechnology products. Then this is the big push, which is quite unique, I think, for a government to be getting involved in, is the market development. And in here we've invested to create the Investment Accelerator Fund, provide seed funding, Ontario Venture Capital Fund, the Emerging Technologies Fund, as I mentioned before, and we have an Ontario tax exemption for commercialization. And then from there, it goes to global markets, and we get lots of money. So now I'm just going to quickly focus on the ICT and digital media, because I thought that was an interesting conversation to have, because you don't find too many ministries that would have normally associated themselves as being science and technology ministries who focus on something as somewhat soft and as tangible as interactive digital media, as well as the ICT. So we understand that ICT really is this sort of ubiquitous presence in our world. It's sort of the lifeblood connecting the knowledge economy, allowing for the transfer and the creation, the dissemination, monetization. And that's a very important thing for any subnational jurisdiction. Any jurisdiction says they want to be a leader in knowledge economy. really has to appreciate this, understand it, and support it. So that's one of the reasons why we include it as one of our areas of focus. And interactive digital media too, while maybe not as top of mind as the ICT in some circles, it too has this important enabling approach, providing the enabling interfaces and the intelligent design, both the hard design and the soft design, that allows us to access, use, and create all of this technology. So where there's a bottleneck in technology development and really cool things, the digital media provides the interface that we can sort of address this bottleneck and allow for the literacy and unlock the technology. And we consider that equally as important at MRI to support. But have we put any money into it? And I think we really have sort of put our money where our mouth is when we say we support these more creative disciplines. Recently, we announced an investment with the Communitech Hub, a digital media mobile accelerator, which is a partnership with Waterloo. It's a not-for-profit consortium that's being led by Communitech out of Waterloo. And they essentially will help hardware and software entrepreneurs bring new tools and technologies and applications to market, and it focuses on the commercialization as well as business development, access to capital, and connecting them with clients and other digital media hubs in Canada and Ontario. Another interesting one that we also recently announced in late 2009 was CRAL CEA, which is Communications Enabled Applications. And that basically gave them the funding which is out of Ottawa, to have a collaborative open source environment to support the development of these CEAs. So basically allowing devices to be more connected, more smart, and the way they can interact with their environment. So whether it's smarter technology in your hospitals, whether it's a better way to buy products, having your devices be smarter and more connected is basically what CRAL CEA is doing. Stratford Institute is another one of our coolest investments that we've made. So this is the University of Waterloo's satellite campus at Stratford, where they saw they had this gigantic stage in Stratford that was dark for 8 or 9 months of the year, and they had the second largest prop warehouse in North America, and it was just sitting there all year. So what the folks at Waterloo decided, well, we've got these great computer scientists and programmers, we've got a great business school. Let's bring them together with the arts disciplines, give them the tools to create the content, allow the engineers and the scientists to help develop the new technologies to disseminate it and create on it, and then bring in the business students to help figure out how you monetize that and sort of house it all under this one sort of creative roof called the Stratford Institute. So that's pretty exciting, as well as funding the Digital Media and Research Innovation Institute at the Ontario College of Art and Design, which is based to house some of their research on sort of place and mobility and a whole host of other things that's going on under Sarah Diamond's close eye. So I'm just going to end quickly on some of the research funding we've done. So that's the commercialization side. Well, we also do a lot of base research, which might be applicable to some of you in the audience today. So our funding comes through the Ontario Research Fund, as a number of other sources, but this one we're going to focus on today. And since 2003, MRI has probably done at least over $100 million in the ICT and the digital media sector of investments through research-only programs. And the connection to the rural community is a bit more prevalent here because we're seeing pervasive and wireless networking research at Guelph University. We're seeing last-mile photonics technologies at Queen's University, which are all helping with the rural divide of making sure they're connected quickly, and providing government options if there is a scalability to roll out this literacy and technology or connection to the internet for rural communities. And we also have things as diverse as media server for support for advanced gaming at Ottawa, and security technologies coming out of the University of Waterloo to protect your financial transactions. So there's a lot of really neat things going on at MRI, and if you have any questions, please feel free to tap me on the shoulder.
Hi, I'm Alida Stevenson with the Ontario Ministry of Tourism and Culture, which is a new ministry, and I come from the old Culture Ministry, which is now joined up with Tourism. And what we do on the culture side is, I work in the culture policy branch, is to conduct research and consultations. We develop strategic frameworks around supporting the culture sector in Ontario and maximize